YouTube, what it do is your boy Benji, and we are back in between the ropes. We love all things entertainment this way, and man, wrestling, it's been giving us ups and downs, but we in it anyways. Money in the Bank, we fresh off of it, man, and I mean, the women's tag team match last night culminated a win for Rhea Ripley, Stephanie Valkyria, and Miss Bliss. Less than 24 hours later, all 6 of these women reunited in a Money in the Bank ladder match. Interestingly enough, Stephanie Valkyria also fought earlier tonight. So, Stephanie Valkyria has completed 3 matches in less than 48 hours. Less than 24 for real. She's incredible. Anyways, this match got into the nitty gritty. And from plenty of people watching, it may have seemed like Rhea Ripley was going to hit her stride. She started beating people up. I mean, sliding and hitting running knees, slamming people on top of ladders. And it looked like she was going to hit Roxanne with a crazy last ride. But this actually led to a dope Hurricane Rana counter. To her hitting that little moonsault off the ropes that she hits on top of Rhea Ripley. That was dope. And yes, guys, you're not imagining things. This ring is logoed up. I mean, plenty of y'all thought that it was a farce when Logan Paul announced that he was going to get Prime logos on the match. And since then, bro, we've literally seen this thing look inked up like Rhea Ripley. I mean, look at the ring. We got 7-Eleven, Prime bottles, we got Cash App, we got video game ads, sponsors, cricket, all over the mat. We have Slim Jim tables. Dude, we even got quote-unquote special ladders, dude, that were branded. Anyways, it was dope to see everybody get a little piece of offense in, of course. These matches are always exciting. And I got to shout out the women, man. They put together some. They was hooping out there. I ain't gonna lie. They was hooping out there. I normally like to grade these things yay, nay, and right in the middle we got okay. This was a yay match. I ain't gonna lie. Yay match from beginning to end. I ain't gonna cap. I mean, dude, we even got the devil's kiss on a ladder. I mean, what else can you ask for? There was a dope sequence, too, where we get to see Roxanne and Miss Bliss hit these Pop Rocks / Code Reds simultaneously on Naomi and Stephanie Valkyria. Dope. On top of the ladders. I'm telling you, these women were getting after it. And then simultaneously we get to see a combo of finishers where Rhea Ripley hits the Riptide on Julia and Alexa Bliss hit the Sister Abigail on Roxanne. After pushing the women off the specialty ladder, we get to see Naomi climb to the top and claim the Money in the Bank briefcase branded by Cash App. Naomi was my pick to win this match, and I'm glad that she got it. I think that the briefcase in her hands has the potential to tell plenty of stories, and I think that what they can do with Naomi has the potential to sprawl upon multiple brands. So I think that a lot of the champions can get in the mix of this. I mean, we literally saw Becky Lynch talk about how Naomi better be scared of her. So anyway, shout out to Naomi and the work that she's put in. I guess, dude, she's been putting work. She's one of the best heels right now. She's got one of the better storylines in the WWE. One of the people that I am actually interested in watching because she can hoop in the ring. She can get on the mic. She can perform. She can act. And, of course, she has the most compelling story right now. Most compelling character. And I think this adds to the lore of Naomi as we continue forward. We also got a surprise match that many people weren't expecting heading into this because it was advertised to be a 4-match show. But if you had watched Worlds Collide earlier with AAA, DOMINIK Mysterio, in the midst of a match, actually challenged one of the wrestlers, OCTAGON Jr., to a match and put his title on the line. So it was dope to see the Luchadors getting another shot on the big stage. And, of course, the Luchadors can hoop. We know this. They get in the ring and they put together a show. So shout out to Dom with that. And again, I mean, I think it's his reign is starting to become a little lackluster because it seems as if him and Liv are just being used as fodder to kind of bring in more eyes onto the mainstream from the mainstream to the product instead of developing what is a potentially dope storyline with the Judgment Day and the growing confidence of Dominik Mysterio. But whatever. One of his first clean wins too was this match, so I gotta salute it. I mean, yes, Liv did distract the referee, but it wasn't one of those where we got to see each and every member of the Judgment Day jump in. So I think that was dope. And I'm not mad at that. I'm cool with every win possible if Dominic Mysterio gets help for somebody. Like the way Roman Reigns was winning towards the latter portion of his reign, I'm cool with that. If it's Dominic Mysterio, I'm cool. And we get to see Dom go from this quiet, meekest, shyest dude to now he's starting to flex. He's starting to spread his wings. He's more confident. I'm all down for that. But this is just me, and strangely, we haven't seen Dominic do any title defenses against anyone who isn't a luchador. So even though he's got out from under the shadow of his dad, it seems like he's still under the shadow of the Lucha Libre. Yeah, let me know. We also got to see Becky Lynch, the man, show up and battle against Lyra Valkyria. Now, going into this match, I did predict that Lyra Valkyria was going to end up losing the championship to Becky Lynch. What was on the line was pride. The winner of this match was to lift the... the winner of the match was to have their hand lifted up by the loser. And Lyra is supposed to never ever challenge again for the championships. Or Becky's technically never allowed to do that. Lyra's punishment was for her to raise Becky's hand. So I'm sorry. So dope enough. This match, before it really got truly underway, we got to see an attack. I don't know. It looked like Lyra might be starting to, switch up. Look, I mentioned before that she's been getting a little more aggressive. She looks like she's found herself. She's ruthless. She's got a little bit of a mean streak to her. She's not doing as much smiling, if you pay attention. Maybe she's not so different than Miss Becky Lynch. Anyways, there were some dope moments. I mean, Lyra kicked out on this match in the middle of a manhandle slam from the top rope. But eventually ended up in a quick reversal from Becky Lynch that led to a roll-up pin. Lyra did raise her hand. I guess Becky wanted to continue to rub it in and asked for Lyra to place the belts around her waist, which Lyra took offense to after she did do such a thing and German suplexed Becky. Talk about a sore loser. You literally came into this match knowing that you was going to do that. Again, so this is why I believe that Lyra may not be as different as she claims that she is. She may not be on such a other, brain fart. She may be very similar to Miss Becky. And all that yap that she's done about how Becky's lost herself, and watch out for Miss Lyra. Now, no lie. The men's Money in the Bank match, it was dope as well. There were some crazy spots. I'd probably argue that the women had a couple crazier ones, but we saw some similar things. The Mexican Destroyers onto ladders, guys getting pushed off of ladders. We saw Mr. Grande Americano Gable hoping out there, of course. It was what we expected. But there was a moment in the match, which I alluded should happen, that Seth Rollins' lackeys, Mr. Reed and Mr. Dog, showed up in order to wipe out the competition and gain Seth the most advantageous situation and scenario while everybody was taken out. And I want to take a step back to say, Solo Sikoa is hilarious. There's a moment early in the match and where he turns around to confront the majority of the competitors and tries to use some of their taunts and be like, "Come on, guys, we're cool," and they absolutely beat him up. So shout out to Solo. His comedic timing was amazing in this match. And right after the Braun brothers take everybody out, we get to see the arrival of Jacob Fatu and Jason Mateo. They show up, wreck house, and start to even out the playing field. This leads to Solo getting an opportunity to start to climb to the top of the ladder, even though he is beaten, battered, and tired. Right before he gets to the top, Jacob Fatu grabs his ankle, yanks him off the ladder, says, "I hate you, Solo," and super kicks him. And then hits him with a moonsault. It looks like he is not yearning for Solo to get an opportunity to win anything, because then after Solo starts to roll out of the ring, he grabs him, hits a spinning solo on top of a ladder that's planted outside of the ring, thus eliminating Solo, and then he walks off. Again, Solo's comedic timing while trying to climb the ladder and then trying to yank his foot up before he ultimately realizes that Jacob Fatu is the one under him. Dude, amazing. Anyways, what ended up happening in this match in terms of the winner that I predicted it should have been, I did predict that we should have had the moments in which these two factions clash in the middle of the match. I thought that was well done. That's something that I said should have happened. But the winner should have been LA Knight. I said there should have been an opportunity for LA Knight to at least grab the belt or at least grab the briefcase and put pressure on who's going to be the champion. I don't like that recently it seems as if the Money in the Bank briefcases have been used to advance a single plot line. I mean, we saw it with Tiffany Stratton. We saw it with Drew McIntyre. And now we're going to see it again with Seth. Bruh, I mean, come on now. He's not cashing in on John Cena. It seems as if the guys that typically win these things continue to keep the belt or keep the briefcase for the champion that's on their show. Even though they're like, I could cash in on anybody. They don't ever cash in on anybody. Other than Austin Theory, who decided to try to cash in on the United States Championship and failed. Normally these guys, under the Triple H regime, try to cash in on the guys that are holding the championship on their show. I mean, how frequently have we seen Roman Reigns be terrified of anybody who won the Money in the Bank briefcase? Anyways, we got a super huge fake out where we thought that LA Knight's going to get up there and climb the ladder. Absolutely not. He doesn't get to climb the ladder. He gets stomped out, and Seth Rollins grabs the briefcase off. This is where the night starts to dwindle for me. Because when we saw some solid in-ring competition leading up to this, I mean, I got to give it the women's ladder match a yay. Becky Lynch and Valkyria, you know what? I'll be generous to give that a yay. I mean, they've been hooping. They hoop. They get together. They make it happen in the ring. Now, DOMINIK, Mysterio, I mean, they did what they were supposed to do. Honestly, that match is a throwaway. It wasn't even advertised. But shout out to Dom. That match literally got thrown together a couple hours before the show. Whatever. If this was the case, I would have liked that Dom could have been talking some more trash about the luchadors heading into this. Like, this could have been done a little better. Anyways, it's fine. Still, it's going to go for an A for me, though. Up until this point, I've got to give this match an okay. I mean, the in-ring work, I don't want to say it was the same level as the women's. But, again, carried work from Solo was amazing. I mean, there was a couple moments, of course, where we saw El Grande Americano slip the metal into his mask. We thought that Penta was going to win. We thought that LA Knight was going to win. And, you know, Andrade was out there performing some great spots. Again, I get upset because I think that this is something where I say, you know what? If Seth wins this, he should try to cash in tonight. Or at the very least, tomorrow on Monday. Because then he'll be holding a belt or holding the briefcase hostage, awaiting who could potentially be the champion right after Monday. And then not long after, we're going to get a Queen of the Ring and King of the Ring championship tournament where the winner is supposed to be slated to get a match against the champion. So, wait, what are we doing? Everybody online on Twitter and even people in the show were chanting CM Punk and Roman Reigns' names, thinking that they were going to get an opportunity from them. No. And I'm going to tell you, I literally sat there and like my jaw dropped when Seth Rollins climbed to the top of this ladder and pulled down the briefcase. I said, there's no way they're actually going to do this. When I started to see the pops for LA Knight, I said, oh, guys, they're going to do it. They're really going to make sure that this dude doesn't win. It was his third year straight talking about how he's going to win this match while he's one of the guys that the fans love and adore. And this dude is literally about to enter into a battle with Aleister Black. A feud with Aleister Black. The guy that has been getting cheered, and bro, just as much love as Jey Uso's been getting with his Yeet stuff. But for some strange reason, maybe it's because he hasn't put the years of equity in that Jey Uso has, but I mean, he's been a wrestler for like 20 years. He hadn't gotten anything. But then he finally gets rewarded with an opportunity to take the United States Championship off of Logan Paul. And then vows to make it a solid run. And instead of, you know, solid storylines where we at least get to see this dude defend the championship against anybody. He's like, bro, I don't care who wants to smoke. Anybody can get it. He then randomly loses the match to Shinsuke. And then we see Shinsuke just hold on to the belt and hold it hostage for then LA Knight to just win it back. Dude, they literally squandered his opportunities. And so then after that, we really had to watch him lose the Money in the Bank briefcase opportunity. And now he's going to go into a feud with Aleister Black. It's upsetting. It upsets me. And I'm kind of like spewing from my brain right now. Everything's just relapsed and recapping to me. Because again, this is my initial reaction. We just playing. We just running it, man. The dude literally just got matches whenever he asked for it. just by, talking to Paul Heyman. And then we just saw him crash every match on SmackDown. So, I mean, it seems like you have enough power where anybody else would have got kicked out of the show. Why do you need the briefcase? And what does you winning the championship have to do with anything? What does that even mean? And then anyways, guys, final match of the night, it was a nay for me. Like I said, what would have maybe brought this match up a couple notches for me would have been possibly an interruption from Seth Rollins, him cashing in, which seemed like he had the perfect opportunity to do so, or maybe Roman Reigns or CM Punk showing up. I think that could have been cool. Didn't really logically make sense for either of them to show up at this point, unless Seth Rollins was to try and attempt to cash in. Neither one of those things happened. We got to see these guys battle it out, and again, I didn't really care for this match, a tag team match between these guys. Didn't really make sense to me. Didn't really understand the purpose of two champions fighting, other than I guess just using their names to draw ticket sales in. I don't really understand the purpose of this match. There is literally no purpose to this match. We just saw on SmackDown Logan Paul holding up the WWE Championship, the World Heavyweight Championship that was held by Jey Uso. So for some strange reason, I don't know why he's doing that. Because again, this is not a match for a championship. This is a match just for bragging rights. Jey Uso's going to fight Gunther, not Logan Paul. So I don't know why. This match makes no sense. And it was kind of a throwaway. In the ring, I don't really care to watch these guys, the selection of guys battle it out at all. Logan Paul did provide us with some entertainment, with some nice high flips. But the story of this match was R-Truth returning. I didn't want to make a video about the R-Truth return and disparage the WWE, because from the beginning, it never really seemed like it was true to me that R-Truth was actually gone from the company. So it just seemed a little bit out of place for the initial announcement that R-Truth made. So something just told me that to just hold on to my judgment and just let time pass. And of course, I was proven right. We got worked, or they truthfully were looking to actually go through contract negotiations with this dude, and they were willing to let him go until the crowd, the fans, actually really stood up for him. Because I think if there wasn't such an outpour online and in the crowds, in the stadiums, to R-Truth's supposed release, R-Truth might actually have been gone. Yeah, so this moment was dope for the people in the stands and for the arena. Again, I don't know where the story goes, because, again, it wasn't pieced together in a way that made any sense in the first place for the match to occur, to then now have R-Truth supposedly get released, to then come back and attack Cena. I don't know what he attacked Cena for. Cena beat you fair and square in the ring, and then you got released after fighting Jason Mateo. So it doesn't make any sense, truthfully, again, but I'm glad to see R-Truth back. I would like to see how they're going to intertwine all this and make it make sense. But in the end of the day, R-Truth hitting John Cena with the belt led to Cody Rhodes and the Cody Cutter and pinning John Cena. So again, this match was worthless. And again, I got to say, nay. But shout out to R-Truth. He's got plenty of life left in the ring. So this is kind of just used as a plot device to move us towards the next Raw and the next SmackDown, in order for us to pay attention and see what's going to go on. All in all, this PLE was okay. I mean, again, like the in-ring work, I think is going to carry something like a Money in the Bank. And, ladder spots are tough to beat, even if they do have a bunch of sponsors all over the place. I'll check in to see what this is going to mean for Monday Night Raw. You would think the way that Seth Rollins and his crew just ran through everybody on SmackDown, that if they were to do the exact same thing, even in this match, we saw Logan Paul do a moonsault on Jey Uso and put him through a table. We then saw John Cena get hit with a belt from R-Truth and hit with a Cody Cutter. I don't know why Seth Rollins couldn't just show up with his boys, wreck house, and cash in. Cash in on John Cena. Cash in on Jey Uso. Cancel that match. But they weren't going to do that to at least allow Gunther the opportunity. So again, this doesn't make any sense. If Seth Rollins his whole plan was to just win, he would have just cashed in. The same way Drew McIntyre cashed in. But I guess you're only supposed to cash in when the belts are on the line. So, which I would think kind of defeats the purpose of the Money in the Bank briefcase in the first place, that you had to sit around and wait for one of the champions to actually fight a match. Doesn't make any sense to me. But fine, whatever. Nothing makes sense anymore. We're just going to tune into Raw and see what this means. Maybe, like I said, we'll get Seth cashing in. If he doesn't cash in, I've got to say, I think this could be a possible waste of a briefcase because, again, Seth Rollins has any opportunity available to him whenever he wants to get a championship match. And we've already seen that. But none of the matches have kind of came to fruition yet, and they all ended in DQs. We'll see what this means. Shout out Money in the Bank. Actually, Money in the Bank. I'm not even going to do that too much. I'm not going to do too much. They did a thing. It wasn't too bad. Just going to stay tuned to Raw. Peace. Let me know what y'all think in the comments below.